What is good, everybody? Hello, hello. Welcome to Momentum Monday or whatever day you're on when you're watching this video. Over here on Momentum Monday, literally what we do is we break this case of the Mondays. We just make sure that that doesn't exist at all by providing you with tools so that you can really be intentional about the momentum that you're building in your week and in your day, right? That can either go in a positive direction or not so much in the direction that you want. So we really help you be intentional and give you tools and strategy to make sure that you can do that. So today, the title, as you can tell, which is very exciting, is how you can get anything that you want, right? Sometimes we just want somebody to just tell us, how can I get what I want? And I'm just going to give you some steps to make this simple. However, the main thing here is that you put what I share into action. Otherwise, it's just more information for you that nothing changes, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you just get really good information, you absorb it, and then you don't do anything with it, you might as well have not even listened. So don't let that be you. I've given you a couple of steps that you can do for a chance to win a free devotional. You can. Number one, do the work that I say here. I'm going to make clear what you need to do below in the description. Number two, make sure that you tag me or you let me know that you did that. And then you have a chance to win a free devotional. So just show me what some of your next steps are based on what you hear here. All right. Now, if you are new, there's some ways that you can connect and the ways that you can get uplifting content and strategy to really help you start making progress every day. One, subscribe to this channel. Okay. Number two, you can also connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. You can visit julianapage.com for quick links to all of them. And then every week, I also provide some Spirit-Filled Real Talk over on the podcast, which is called Spirit-Filled Real Talk, anywhere you get your podcast. You can also subscribe. And one of the best ways to make sure that you hear when new episodes become available is to subscribe, because you will get a notification or reminder. And I am somebody that turns off all notifications on my phone. However, when it comes to podcasts and wanting to know if a new podcast that I really like listening to is available, I do turn those on. So those are a couple of ways that you can connect to make sure that whether you're on a walk or driving on a commute or whatever you're doing, cooking, multitasking, whatever it is, that you can also educate yourself and get some new information and strategy into your life. All right, let's dive in, shall we? So, what can I do to change my life? Number one is decide what you want. Decide what you want. And I know that this is like painfully obvious. However, it is crazy to me, from all the people that I work with and even from my own life experience, how we are so clear on what it is that we don't want. But when it comes to being specific and crystal clear about what it is that we do want, we're not able to describe it with the same fervor, right? So decide what you want and make it as specific and as clear as possible. Okay. So if you want to become a better cook, like, what does that mean? Does that mean that you're going to go take a couple of classes at Whole Foods? Does that mean that you're going to go to culinary school? Are you going to apply? When are you going to do that by? When are you going to be done? How does your life change? How do you need to restructure things so that you can commit to that? Or maybe in a relationship, you've decided that you actually are led to be married. Marriage is something that you want, but are you prepared for that? Like, are you still in a stage in your life where you're just more selfish and self-centered and self-serving? Or are you ready to commit to somebody else? If somebody came to live with you right now and share life with you right now, would you be ready, right? Do you understand what the purpose of marriage is? Do you understand what the vision of marriage is for you? Are you able to die to yourself daily, let's say, right? Get really, really clear. And then what is your next step? Is it going through a marriage course? Is it really starting to look at some of your own healing work and starting to do internal healing work so that you can make sure that you're not coming in perfect to a relationship or a marriage, right? But you're coming in as somebody that is a whole human, right? That can also be able to love, right? And give and sacrifice. Okay. If it is to launch a business, let's say, are you clear on what the business is and why you're called to create this business and why now? And are you aware? Do you have some sort of idea of what it's going to take and what it's going to cost you, right? Are you somebody that has a high risk tolerance? Are you somebody that needs to build this on the side? Get as clear as possible about why the time is now and what it is that you really do want, because clarity is power. Okay. Now, you really also have to know that this is something that when it comes to being clear, you also have to be so clear that you're willing to fully commit to this thing. Because if you're not willing to fully commit, I would question if this is really, really, really what you want. It might be a good idea. And sometimes we decide that, and then it's a blessing to find out that we don't actually want that at all, so that we don't invest all this time, energy, and resource, right? And we can focus on what it is that we do want. So that's not the end of the world, but decide what it is that you want and be so clear that you're actually willing to commit to it fully. Because here's the thing, before we have the proof, before it actually happens, we have to have the faith at work, right? We have to activate our faith. We have to believe it before we see it. So this is so, so important to get so clear on what you want. Maybe right now, you can always pause this and just give yourself some time to do number one. But maybe right now you just think of one area that you're really wanting change in, okay? And then you can go deeper into what that looks like and why you want that, okay? Number two, we know this one. We hear this one all the time. There's also the really great book, Start With Why. But why? Why do you want what you want? This is a big deal because a lot of times it's going to be the purpose that fuels the persistence. You have to be so persistent to go after what you want, because a lot of times, and I know this to be true, and I see it a lot with clients, that when we actually commit to doing something, that's when the fear comes up and the distractions come in and life happens, right? And then we just somehow like let it go and we let it fall to the wayside because we didn't really know why we wanted it. So it was easy to let it go, right? Like if we really, really want something, we'll figure out how to get it, right? But if we're not clear on why we want something, we won't. We don't have the purpose to fuel the persistence that it's going to take to keep showing up and moving towards that every day. So what will it mean when you actually achieve this? How will your life change, right? Who will you become in pursuing this? We don't think about that a lot, but we become somebody new as we're literally pursuing things. So who will you become? So important to think about that. So important. So that's number two. Why? Why do you want it? Get super clear on why you want it. And then number three, and this one probably is, I mean, they're all of equal importance, but this is a big deal. We often miss this one. We usually do the first two and that's it. Okay. So this one is eliminate excuses. Why? Because excuses are really habits of self-deception, right? When we make excuses, we're usually lying to ourselves. And a really great way to investigate if you're lying to yourself is trying on two different words. I can't or I won't. Okay. Why that's super important? Because it's when we, let me try that again. When we say I can't, that is giving our power away. That's giving our agency away. And we have 100% authority over our lives. And we are 100% responsible for the results that we get. So we want to be in a position of being responsible, in a position of being accountable in our life. We don't want to take a backseat to our life or blame other people for why we are where we are. No. This is something that you have to literally sniff out your lies. So when I say I can't do something, I'm usually lying to myself, right? And when I say I won't do something, at least I'm being honest, right? So if I won't do that, then what will I do? Okay. And so do the fill-ins if you want to, just to kind of like sniff this out. But I can't show up in this relationship, or I won't show up in this relationship. Different. I can't go to that event, or I won't go to that event. I mean, I love this, even biblically speaking. There's a verse that says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. The best thing that you can do is live from a place of authenticity and integrity, right? Like, let your word actually mean something, and start stop making excuses and stop lying to yourself, okay? You have responsibility and agency for your life. So a way to really get to the bottom of this, if you really want to dig, is write out all of the excuses that you already know are going to come up because you've decided that you want this thing and that you actually really want what you want, right? You know why you want what you want. So write down all the excuses that could come up that could block you from literally going after that thing that you want. What are they? Like, brain dump everything that you can come up with so that when it comes up, you have the awareness to be like, yeah, no, keep it moving, right? And then lastly, and then I'll give you a bonus exercise here, is action is magic. Okay. This is where we build the momentum. Okay. We build momentum by what we think, by what we meditate on day and night, by what we speak, right? By how we behave and the actions that we take. We're building momentum, and that's either going in the direction that we want it to go or it's going backwards. Okay. And we don't want to go backwards, and we don't want to just be stuck. We are activators. We can actually change our life, right? So action is magic. What is the next step that you can take towards bringing this into being? What are you led to take? Okay. And a lot of times people are like, I just don't know. So here's the bonus 20 ways. This is what you want to do. You want to get like a little notebook, maybe a big notebook, and write down like 1 to 20 and list 20 different ways that this is possible, that this can happen, right? That you can think of, whatever they are, but list 20 different ways that this can happen. And this will actually reveal to you your next action step. So write down all 20 ways and see what you're really led and inspired to do. So here's the thing. God delights in giving us the desires of our heart. And when you are a born again believer specifically, God puts a new heart in you, right? And so you can trust the desires that he put in there are from him and that he wants you to experience them more than you do. So if that were true and you were allowed to want what you want, what do you want? Why do you want it? What excuses, what lies are already coming up that you need to silence and kill and use your authority to speak truth and to speak life over it, to literally prophesy your future and your destiny? And then what are the next steps? And you can even pray, Holy Spirit, reveal to me the next steps to take to move this vision forward. Thank you that you've given me this desire in my heart. And thank you that you guide and establish my steps, that you give me the creativity, you give me the insight, you give me the wisdom, you give me the courage, you give me the strength, you give me the boldness to take this step. Reveal to me what that step is in Jesus' name, right? And then follow through, like trust that he's going to lead and guide you, and trust that you're going to be empowered to take that step, because it's not by might, but by the Spirit. Okay. Oh my goodness. I hope this helps you. I mean, think about it. If you actually apply these steps, this is how you can get anything that you want. A lot of times we're not clear. A lot of times we don't know why we want something. We tell ourselves that we can't have it. We believe all the lies that we tell ourselves, and we don't take any action. So we stay in this nasty pattern that just holds us back and makes us frustrated and resent other people and jealous of what other people have, but they're actually willing to do the work, right? So instead of letting all of that manifest on the inside of you, stop the cycle, right? And decide that you get to want what you want, and that you're somebody that is clear on why you want it, that is going to block all the excuses, that's not going to tolerate them, that is going to rebuke the lies, rebuke the devourer, and take bold, courageous faith steps towards what it is that you're being led to step into. All right. Now, if you really want to work this and put this into practice, I dropped in the description below. Number 1, share with me, right? Watch this all the way, even rewatch it, and actually pause and literally do each step. 2, let me know below what you are actually committing to and what your next step is. And then I will review these, and then you have a chance to win a free devotional. So I'll be in touch if you put that information below. All right, guys. Happy Momentum Monday. And until next time, stay blessed.